Bro, let me tell you something real. Sometimes the loudest message you can ever send is silence. No begging, no chasing, no paragraphs, just pure silence. You see, when a guy walks away quietly without drama, without trying to explain himself, that's when he leaves the deepest echo. Because most people are expecting noise, a fight, a goodbye text, some closure. But when she gets nothing, that's when her mind starts to go wild. Why is he so quiet? Does he even care? Is he hurting? Or did he actually move on? That silence? It's like a mirror. It forces her to sit alone with her own actions, with her guilt, with her memories, with the version of you that didn't fight to stay, but had every reason to leave. And that version of you? She never forgets him. Here's the truth, man. She was ready for your words. She was ready for your anger. She was even ready for a dramatic goodbye. But what she wasn't ready for was your absence. She wasn't ready to wake up and not see your name pop up on her phone. Not ready to open her messages and find no missed calls. Not ready for the world to go on and you to go quiet. You didn't block her. You didn't curse her out. You didn't announce your exit. You just disappeared ... And that silence? It wasn't petty. It was powerful. Because it came from peace, not pain. You weren't trying to hurt her. You were just done explaining yourself. And when a man stops explaining himself, it usually means he's finally learned to choose himself. That moment hits different. Because it's the first time she realizes you didn't leave to punish her. You left to protect your peace. And that's the part she never forgets. You know what's funny? People always assume no contact is some toxic game. Like you're trying to hurt her, make her miss you, or make her jealous. But nah, man, that's not it. No contact isn't about her at all. It's about you. It's not revenge. It's recovery. Because sometimes you get so lost in someone else, you forget who the hell you are. You start shrinking to make them comfortable. You start apologizing for simply feeling. You start begging for the bare minimum. And then one day you wake up and realize, this isn't love. This is emotional survival. So when you go silent, it's not to teach her a lesson. It's to remind yourself of your worth. You don't respond, not because you're bitter, but because peace feels better than attention. You stay away, not because you want to punish, but because you finally care about your energy. And she'll feel it. Oh, trust me, bro. She'll feel that shift in your energy long after you're gone. Because when a man goes silent to heal, that silence speaks louder than any fight ever could. Let's keep it real, bro. The more you chase, the less she respects you. Harsh truth? Yeah, but it's the truth. Because when you're chasing someone who keeps pulling away, you're basically telling them, I don't believe I'm enough, but I hope you do. And that energy? It reeks of insecurity, of desperation, of a man who's abandoned himself just to be seen. But here's what you need to hear. The moment you start proving your worth, you've already forgotten it. A real man doesn't chase. He attracts. He chooses, too. Because chasing someone who isn't choosing you, that's not love. That's self-betrayal. Let her go. If she's pulling away, let her walk. Silently ... Because your silence says, I'm not angry. I'm not broken. I'm just no longer interested in fighting for a spot I never needed to beg for. That's where power is, man. Not in shouting, not in chasing, but in standing still and letting people show who they are. When you stop running after them, silence does something loud. It forces her to feel what your presence used to cover up, your calls, your messages, your check-ins, your care. When all that disappears, she's left alone with a strange feeling she hasn't felt in a long time, emptiness. She won't say it out loud. She might even pretend she's happier. Posting fake smiles, party pictures, acting like losing you was the best thing that ever happened. But behind closed doors, that silence screams. It echoes in her mind at 2 a.m. It whispers in the back of her thoughts when the music stops. Because silence isn't passive. Silence is confrontation. It's a mirror. And in that mirror, she starts seeing what she lost. And if she ever truly cared, trust me, that silence will eat at her more than any words ever could. Because silence says what words can't. I've moved on, and I'm not asking you to follow. You know what silence does to her? It turns you into a question mark. She can't answer. A story without an ending. A door that closed without slamming. See, when most guys get hurt, they beg, they cry, they explain. They try to get closure ... But you? You went quiet. No drama. No breakdown. No, please don't go. And that's what hits the hardest. Because now she's stuck wondering, was he really hurting? Did he ever care? Why didn't he fight for me? That mystery, bro. It lives in her mind. It shows up when she's with someone else who doesn't measure up. It whispers in her head, maybe he was the real one. And I pushed him away. You became unreachable. Not bitter. Not loud. Just gone. And that haunts her. Because we always chase what we don't understand. We always think about the one who never gave us all the answers. You didn't lose her. You just became someone. She'll never figure out and never forget. Bro, listen. Closure is overrated. We think we need it. We think it gives us peace. But most of the time, closure is just one last attempt to get validation. You don't need her to tell you why she left. You don't need to understand why she changed. Because the truth, even she doesn't fully know, and the power move, it's walking away without demanding anything. No explanations. No goodbye speech. No final chapter. That silence, that's strength. Because it says, I don't need permission to let go. And I don't need your version of the story to move on. You see, when you walk away quietly, you rob her of control over your healing. She doesn't get to be the one who defines how it ends. You do. And that, my man, is rare. It's powerful. It's unforgettable. Because most guys try to leave with a bang. But you? You left like a ghost. No mess, no noise, just dignity and peace. And that sticks in her mind. Longer than any angry words ever could. Here's what they don't say out loud. She still checks on you. Not publicly, not openly, but in silence, in secret. She scrolls through old texts. She clicks on your profile. Even when there's nothing new to see. Why? Because the absence of noise is louder than any update. When you stop posting, when you go silent, you become this void she can't fill. She wants to know, is he doing okay? Has he moved on? Does he miss me? And here's the twist. You didn't disappear from her world. You just became part of her inner world. The one she revisits when no one's looking. The silence doesn't mean she forgot. It means you've become unforgettable. The guy who begged? She pitied him. The guy who argued? She blocked him. But the guy who went quiet, who just vanished, he's the one she still thinks about at 1 a.m. Bro, let's be real. Closure? It's a myth. You don't get peace from answers. You get peace from acceptance ... and revenge. It just keeps you chained to her energy. Even if you win, you lose a part of yourself in the process ... But silence? Silence is the only language that forces reflection. When you go silent, you give her space to hear her own echo. The things she said, the way she treated you, it bounces back. Without you needing to lift a finger. She replay every scene in her head, wondering what you're thinking. She expect a message, a reaction, a fight. But nothing comes. And bro, is louder than any argument. Silence shifts the power. It's the moment you stop giving her your energy and reclaim it for yourself. And ironically, that's the very moment she starts to crave it. Because silence isn't passive. It's not weakness. It's restraint. It's knowing you could say everything, but choosing not to. That choice? That's strength. That's unforgettable. All right, bro, here's the real deal. The silence you left behind, it doesn't just fade away after a few weeks. It sticks. It lingers. Months pass, and she still feels that empty space. She still wonders, why did he disappear? What did I lose? You see, time doesn't heal everything. Sometimes it sharpens the memory, makes the silence even heavier. She may try to move on, try to fill the void with someone else. But deep down, that silence you left, it's the ghost she can't shake ... because you didn't just walk away. You left a question mark, a story unfinished, and that mystery? It haunts her more than any goodbye ever could. Meanwhile, you've grown. You've healed. You're living your life on your terms. And that's the ultimate power move. Not revenge, not closure, but freedom. Freedom from the past. Freedom to be your true self, and freedom to be the man who went silent and left a mark no one can forget. Bro, life doesn't always need noise. Sometimes silence speaks louder than words. And the calm ones, the ones who choose to stay silent, are the ones women never forget. Be that man. Not to make her remember you, but to make yourself strong enough, free enough, to move on without needing any explanations.